What's poppin', beautiful people? Welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I will be off camera for this live, but James is here and he is on camera and he's smiling and bright-eyed. Welcome in.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me once again. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Show my girls some love.
Yes, also see the link in every video that we do. There's a link in the description to James's channel. Sometimes there's links to other creators' channels that I feel like you guys may like. So just tap in, support other creators. I do all of my lives, as you see, as it's like TV related for the most part with James, with the exception of TLC shows and some other stuff. But tap in because he got some good shows. He actually has shows. Married to Medicine's going to be coming back. He is Bell Collective on right now. The Braxton's on right now. I saw on the internet that Bell Collective getting a season finale after like 4 or 5 episodes, and I'm lost. Is the episode that's airing tonight the finale? Because they was on Instagram acting an absolute fool about Bell Collective. I have no clue.
How is it a season finale when it's only?
That's what everybody was online asking, and they were kind of. It seemed like they was kind of getting at Carlos about that, and I'm like, I watch on the DVR, so I fast forward through like the announcements and commercials, so I don't know what's going on.
We're only on episode 6. I didn't hear that information, so I don't know.
He could not have done that after a year of it being gone.
Probably doing the Love Marriage Huntsville thing where he'll put them on hiatus for like 2 months and then bring back the rest of these episodes. And if Carlos did that, I'm dropping Bell Collective because I'm not going to put myself through that and then have to relearn the situations all over again. That is too much work.
Come back to some shit that we saw months ago. Like,
right.
We're supposed to just keep Shanny says, sit here watching clips from BravoCon. Beverly Hills and Potomac Housewives right now are all the talk of BravoCon because Beverly Hills is suffering without Garcelle, and the fans are booing Erica Jane and people who are against Garcelle because Garcelle ain't done shit to none of y'all, and you know that.
As they should. And if I was there, y'all would definitely have heard my boo.
But Potomac, I just watched that clip. Here's the thing. Wendy is innocent until proven guilty. Yes. Even though this is not a federal case either, I'm learning, it's state.
It's state, yeah.
So, yes, because she is not technically an American or a naturalized, I don't know what they call it. I don't know the terminology, a naturalized citizen. She can technically be up at risk for deportation, but just because her kids are citizens and other stuff, I feel like if she gets a good attorney, she'll be okay. But Wendy is not going to come on stage and just be talking about how guilty she is and all of this. The smartest thing she can do is go about her business and get the legal checks that she can because she got an attorney to pay. That's how I feel. But her rejecting Ashley's apology. Ashley, I think the new housewives have figured out Ashley is the fakest probably housewife across all of the franchises. Ashley's just the one that's somehow able to keep her job. And I like that they calling it out. Like when Ashley does shit that's too far, this ain't Karen and Giselle and weak ass Robin. Like they just not gonna deal with you, Ashley.
I think she, once again, Ashley in the France of nobody. And the fact that Bravo keeps continually bringing her here without a storyline, giving her the Heather Gay treatment is just baffling to me because I don't really care. She ain't had a storyline in years.
Ashley was asking if there was beef between Erica and Kyle because they were not talking or looking at each other. Ashley is messy. Ashley will do anything she can to distract from the fact that she don't want to talk about her butchering music and the Black community. Damn near, we was already mad at you, Ashley, for them TikToks that you was posting during COVID. And we was already looking at you with a side eye based on your mama and her wig and the fact that you was married to that man. Then we really side-eyed you when the babies came, when the marriage was ended. So Ashley will do anything she can to avoid talking about the scandal that is her. And, I really, I don't like her, but I can't blame her. So If people are accepting it, which is crazy, is what it is. Monique reached out to Wendy in a good way, and Ashley just throwing back ass shade. She was happy about somebody else's suffering, which is sick. Because you know, if Ashley was going through this right now, she'd be like, I most worry about Dean and Dylan. Girl, old ass looking kids. Let me see. I was like, who is that next to Monique until she talked? Child, the mess. But let's get into it. I was about to say wife swap. Married at First Sight. We're gonna go over episodes 11 and 12. We're getting to the end. I believe we'll see the finale next week. I can't remember, and I'm not sure if there'll be a reunion, but we are gonna get into it. We're gonna go over both episodes. I'm gonna do it a little differently and just discuss what happened in both episodes with each couple, because otherwise we'll be here all night, and I don't have all night. James doesn't have all. Y'all don't have all night. Yeah. But we're gonna start with Brittany and Will. Let's just get about.
Oh, you going here with this? Oh,
I'm starting in the order of
let me get my notes
to us in the episode. Now, Brittany and Will. Listen, I don't know what the hell wrong with me, Shani. I'm tired. I have a lot going on with school. I've been a little bit overwhelmed, y'all. So I'm like, you know what? I don't know what show I'm covering or when. But I know I've watched stuff.
You got this. You got this. Just push on through.
Lord help us. Oh, but Brittany and Will, their situation, we leave off with them melting. Like Brittany is literally in the bathroom crying because Will is having this weird exchange when they're on their couples retreat. And Megan runs in after Brittany and they're talking. And something that Brittany said that I thought was important to pay attention to was that I could tell he doesn't have a connection and I don't have one either, but I'm still trying. So it's like, neither of you have an emotional connection, but then when you're on camera you're saying that you do feel something. So I'm like, baby, when you're upset, that's when I trust what's coming out of your mouth when you're drunk or upset.
Yeah.
And I feel like she doesn't have a connection but has been trying, because I think she knows she did F up in the very beginning, but she's crying. Megan eventually leaves. When Megan goes back to the table, Megan and the people at the table tell Will, maybe you should go after her. Here's the thing. Men are terrible. Men are terrible with emotions. My husband is not the best with emotions. Terrible. But if they care about you, even when it's unnatural for them to check on you or console, comfort you, whatever it may be, they'll still do it, even if it's awkward. Like there's been times I've been sad and my husband see me sad and he's bad with emotions, but I'll get like the most aggressive hug and it's gonna be all right. But it's like, you're doing what you can, you know? So I feel like if you really, really care about someone, that, and not even love, like if you just care about someone or are empathetic, if you see them hurting, you want to do something to add some form of comfort, or you respect and leave them alone. So the fact that Will just sits there like he doesn't know her and it's just the guest at these crazy people's event was kind of odd. But he does get up and eventually go in there, and he sounded like a whole different person when he saw that the cameras wasn't there and the cameras was off. He in the bathroom, he was like, no, baby, I do want you. No, come on, babe. I'm like, what is this, Will? Because you ain't never spoke like this in front of the camera. So that's when I was like, and I've been saying it. The only reason these people got cool is because they were able to have sex. Brittany is clearly dickmatized. I will get into it more shortly, but she's clearly dickmatized, and I think the dick gave her the strength to keep trying, which a lot of people are guilty of. But now I see why she was willing to keep trying, because there's a whole different him probably off camera and away from this process than there is when he's on camera. And at first I was like, is this man gay? Is he hiding in the closet? Does he have trauma? Is it because of his mom and his sister? Now I'm seeing, no, you just the wolf in sheep's clothing when it suits you. When it suits you. And that little scene in the bathroom showed me that, because you went from awkward to where James could inference and think he ain't got no relationship experience and stuff, to where people is alleged on the internet he could potentially be a virgin, to knowing how to talk to the bitch. Nah, Will, you ain't fooling nobody. I see you, Negro. But how do you feel before we move on to more of them like in the bathroom?
I feel like that's a cop out for him. For you to be giving her what she needs behind closed doors when you think the cameras aren't watching you and you think you can't be heard, I feel like that's fucked up. Because the same way you could give it to her behind that closed door, you should be able to give it to her open. If that's your wife, and you clearly know what you're doing, and you know how to do it, and you know how to comfort her, you know how to give her what she needs in the moment that she needs it.
You
But you
choose
don't want
not
to
to.
do it. Yeah, but you don't want to do it where it could be shown, which is crazy. Like that's stupid.
He probably don't want to do it to where it's shown, because something I think with them that we'll get more into when we're fully through it. I said this when she flipped out on the honeymoon. I think he checked out, but I think he'll go along to get along just because it's the process and he's a rule follower. But I think he lost interest right then and there. And I don't think he ever got it back. And I think that's part of it. But I think he's still a man. So he's going to get the booty if it's near.
So even though we're not there, and I'm not jumping ahead, at this point, because of what you just said, do you think that instead of him walking away when he knew there wasn't, when he was checked out, do you think he stayed for the TV purposes? Or do you think he, at this point, really was giving it a shot?
That's the part that I was struggling. I kept rewinding it. That's why I moved this all the way to 6, because I was watching. I kept rewinding it because I was like, wait, what is your purpose for staying in it? Because it was very clear when they had whatever happened at the honeymoon that he was pretty done. But then you still stayed and dealt with her, and then she gave you what you wanted, and you still just refused to acknowledge it. So I can't figure out what it is, because TV wise, he's not that interesting, and no shade, he looked like every other light-skinned nigga. I'm just saying. But like outside of television, I'm like, can you gain something for your job? Like, I don't get it.
I don't get it either. That's why I asked you that question, because at this point, when I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, so are you doing this for TV purposes? And you went behind the cameras and in the privacy to butter her up so that she would continue? Because to me, it now looks like you were playing a big ass game at her expense. And that's what I can't get behind. Like, to me, because she really looks like she's trying with all her might and really putting her heart into this. That's why I'm like, okay, you're playing the game, sir.
He has to be, child.
Yeah, you have to be.
But Brittany continues, speaking of try, because she does continue. Britt calls Will's mom, and Will's mom comes out, and she definitely redeemed herself. But it's interesting. They go to dinner with their mom. I looked up the restaurant too. Don't ever take me or invite me to a seafood anything that has less than 4 stars. I will pay the money. Unless it's in the hood and a hole in the wall and it's deep fried. But outside of that.
Or unless the comment ain't really talking about the food, it's talking about the aesthetic.
Yeah, like.
Because I made that mistake once before. I did not go to a restaurant for years because people are like, oh my God, like they need to get new furniture. Their chairs got holes in it.
Be the places with the good food.
And it was funny because someone got me a to-go plate. Like they just ordered me something from that place. And I didn't really pay attention to the name of the place. And when I said, oh, this food is good. Where y'all get this from? And they told me, I said, wait, what? You mean that food was that damn good? Now, for years, I didn't eat at this place. And Phoenix does not have good food, y'all. It just doesn't. So when you find good food, you hold on to it until they get new management and fuck it all up. That's just, you just do that. So, yeah.
I cannot. That's true about Phoenix. So all the food people, when they go to Phoenix, they always say they kind of struggle to find places.
When I tell you I was very selective about the places we went to.
Yeah, you did good. I wasn't complaining. I have had better Jamaican food, but it was hella good. It was fresh. I think that's what I like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My curry though, that was good. I want it like that, but they always want to leave the bone. Anywho, but they go out to eat. His mom actually asked some questions that I think were appropriate. She asked if y'all could do this all over again, would you? Because you're getting long. She's like, you're affectionate. And neither one of them answered the question. And Brittany is smart. I see what she's doing. She's like, why don't you answer? It's your mama, it's your people. You answer. Because he don't be answering questions. And I think she want to see, like, are you going to deflect and do that bullshit with your mama? And, he does. But his mom does explain to the camera separately that Will is extremely good at hiding his emotions, and he does not and will never and has not been a person that wears his heart on his sleeve. And it seems like his mom knows that that's something that is holding him back as it relates to not just love, but probably dating and relationships. But Will did appreciate the kind gesture from Brittany to call in his mom and get him a little nothing but cake and, all of that, which was nice. And then we later see that Will is going to get ready to leave again. He's a tech consultant. So people that work in tech and are consulting or in sales, for the most part, do travel a lot. Y'all, my husband's studying for that. And I'm just like, may he please find a job that doesn't have him on a plane 24/7. But he does travel a lot. So he's leaving again. They have a little moment because she keeps telling him that she wants to be with him forever. And she says that, she loves him and is going to miss him. And he finally gives her an I love you back. But it also looked like it was the, oh, you miss me. Show me you miss me. And little stuff I started to notice, like, yeah, now come on, and you can slowly walk me to the door. Like, this Negro is eating up every piece of attention that he gets versus reciprocating it. I'm starting to pay attention to, like, certain little stuff with Will. Like, he always pulls her to him. Why you can't never come to her? She got to slowly walk you out the door, even though she's going to miss you. Why can't you let her drive you to the airport? Like, there's just a lot of little things with him that I noticed that are just like red flags. And I don't think that she sees it. I'm just going to finish up what happens with these people because I can't wait. Brittany and Will later talk about love after he's back from the trip or however the fuck editing made this work. And they're talking about it on a boat. I love activities like that. It was the cutest little thing. But they're talking about it on a boat on a date. And they decide to say to each other what they love about each other and what love means to them. And whenever couples have discussions like this, I say you're either really new in your relationship or you should not be marrying somebody, but you're trying to find ways to force it and make yourself feel better about it. That's usually what it gives when these type of conversations are had. And he kind of makes a comment like, to him, love is action and feeling. But then he describes a lot of actions. And Brittany says, so I noticed to you, our love styles are different. Your love language is more about action and mine is more based on feelings. And it seems like he slightly wanted to get upset about that. And she explains that she meant that love is like an obligation to him. But here's the thing. Well, you're bothered by how she's describing love, but you took forever and a day just to say that you love her. So he tries to manipulate and gaslight it, because that's what I peeped it as, and says that he feels like Brittany is telling him how to describe love, and because of that, he feels like she is discrediting his feelings for her. You don't get to say that after you didn't express or make it clear of the feelings that you have for her after the whole experience. You put this girl through hell. You just don't get to say that, but he's so selfish. She does apologize for her part, and this is where I like really saw the growth in Brittany. Like, she's someone who could be a wife. At first I was worried, but I think she's someone who I see who learns as they go, which a lot of people do in marriage. That's common. And she seems like when she's learning, she's not just learning about her partner's likes and dislikes, which she struggled with, but she also seems to be learning how she can come off and how she can better address him, which is rare for even people already married. So I commend her for that. And he's just kind of shitting on it, which irks me. And she literally is like, she wants to find ways to make him feel like he can feel safe in expressing himself to her. I was like, okay. So fast forward to the bullshit. We then get to the point where the couples are going to spend a night alone before they decide whether they're going to stay married or get a divorce and or annulment. And Will tells the confessional that for the last few weeks, he feels like he has had to hide and ignore his feelings just to appease her. And I said, the audacity, before I even get to what happens. You've been telling her you refuse to give feelings. That's expressing your feelings. You've been saying she needs to move a certain way and accept that there's different types of love, over analyzing stuff, having to be told by other people to do simple acts of kindness for a person that's supposed to be your wife. This lady did a full 360. And if y'all watched our lives a couple weeks ago, I was ready to slap her and yank the weave out of her head. But she actually did the work and did a full 360. And you're going to play with her like that. It's looking like you stayed in this shit, like I assumed, on that honeymoon to get along, going along to get along, and figure at least I could get some cutty out of it once you start getting that ass, knowing that you did not want to be with this girl. And then you try to blame it on your personality and your field of work. Your field of work does impact your personality to an extent, but not to the extent of this. So he says this bullshit, which was him taking no accountability. Also, how can you want to be a husband if you have a problem with having to put aside your own feelings sometimes to support your spouse? That's just what it is. And then you come back to it. Sometimes you're not able to express both of your points or both of your feelings at the same time when you're in a relationship, especially in a marriage. But it doesn't mean you don't. You just have to wait till it's the right time to do things, but you don't ignore your feelings. Both people should be expressing them, but sometimes both people expressing them at one time can be overwhelming. He chose to ignore that. She tried to understand and dug to understand his feelings and do better, but he wouldn't open up. And now it seems like he's blaming her for it. So he calls Brittany and tells her he's going to give her a no on decision day as she's getting ready for decision day, because he's too much of a fucking coward, it seems, thus far, to fix it or to face her. I'm a little disappointed because in the blooper to next week, it looked like she was begging this man to try and stay married to her and fight. And Brittany, this is exactly why you should not be married. You made one mistake that was pretty bad, and you made it difficult to solve that problem. But you can't fault people for not being perfect. And I think what matters is the fact that she was able to not just solve a problem, but identify and be accountable with herself, which a lot of people struggle to do. I just don't like how he did her. And I'll say this, if a woman does not break out into a scream, tears, go crazy, start cursing, her legs started shaking and she was a little quiet, I said, oh, y'all better keep him away from her. The calmer the woman, the bigger the wrath, I'm trying to tell you. But I was annoyed, James. How you feel with them? Like, I wasn't surprised at all, but I was annoyed with how he did it. Because this man love bombed her, breadcrumbed her, fucked her, sold her a dream.
It was, let me explain something to y'all. I was so aggravated with that last part that I literally was like, see, you playing and you trying to do this for TV. This is for TV. Because there's no way in hell we go all this way and you talk about you weighing out pros and cons, and it's like literally she has not done anything since the honeymoon. Like, she literally got it together, literally was, like trying to make sure she was, tiptoed around your feelings. She did everything that I feel like she was supposed to do to try to make it better, to try to make sure she was better. And I feel like what he did was he held on to how she was at the honeymoon and just kept on like, okay, you seem like you're doing better, so I'm just gonna say that this is not truly how I feel, but I'm just gonna say this because I'm gonna go on and get along because I don't know about you. And I hate when people do that. I hate when people don't let shit go and hold on to a behavior, hold on to a trait of yours, and just completely hold you hostage to that because they don't know what they're gonna get from you. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to learn and learn that as a part. So, y'all, my heart like literally hurt for her because when I saw in that trailer, like Mrs. Best said, that she was literally begging him, like, don't give up on us, don't give up on our marriage. I said, no, you needed to say, fuck you for wasting my time. Fuck you for playing with these people's discernment and money and situations because you knew you didn't want to be with me. You should have left. That's what I would have said because he was checked out. And we all saw that and we all know that. So that was messed up. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I felt bad for Brittany, and I hardly saw for her this season, but I felt bad for her in that moment. I really did. Like, it would have been okay if she cried. It would be okay if she started throwing shit. Because I would have been mad. Why are you wasting my time? Like, that's how I would have felt.
My bad.
No, you're good.
I couldn't get my damn thing off of mute. But I felt bad for her, but at the same time, I see a lot of women do what she did, and it's not right how Will handled it. But she could have prevented getting played if she would have handled the issues on the honeymoon better. Now, it does not make Will right. It does not make him right for her. And I empathize with Brittany, even if she was crazy the whole time. Like, at least face me at the decision day. Don't make me think everything's okay, and then after you say you love me, you dump me. But though she was accountable with herself, it took far too long. There was a point where she told him, I don't care what your favorite color is. I don't care about your likes and dislikes. All I care about is being a good wife. And I think that I feel like a man can deal with the tripping, the mood swings, the irate behavior where we're mad, the nitpicking. I feel like men can deal with stuff like that, but they deal with that with the expectation that you give a fuck about their likes, their interests, their dislikes. And I was like, you know what? You say you ignored yourself, Will, but I was like, why would he feel that way? Because I didn't want to just roast the brother altogether. And I'm like, she sat there and said that to him with no fucks given. And then he ended up always having to apologize. Like, there were several instances and issues that this couple had that you could see that he was just kind of silencing himself and saying it's okay. Now, it doesn't make it right, because it's never okay to string someone along. That's bullshit. And to me, just as bad as ghosting her. But I can understand why he wouldn't want to be with her. And I think this would be an important lesson to Brittany. And really anybody dating, man or woman, if you're dating somebody, even if you don't care, keep the shit to yourself, because it's very hard to care about somebody's likes and dislikes and interests when you don't know them yet and aren't invested. And that's okay. But until you get to know them, because once you have natural love, you're going to naturally care and have an interest in what your partner has an interest in. Not saying you're going to become obsessed with it like them, but you'll get interested in it. Like, let it be. So I don't understand. I don't understand how these people fully, it's almost like they're acting as if just because you're married doesn't mean that you're going to have the strength of a marriage that's like 20 years in. And it's almost like the way that these couples are reacted to each other is like they want to have the expectation of someone to treat you the way that they would if they genuinely knew you in a marriage, but y'all don't know each other. They don't. It's been 6 fucking weeks. And I keep thinking about that with Brittany and Will specifically. So it's like a piece of me wants to be like, you motherfucker. But then the other piece of me is like.
But see, but with that being said, because I hear you, I do. But with that being said, would that have been more reason for him to say, okay, once she apologized for her behavior, once she started doing the work, wouldn't that be enough to say, okay, let me let this go and see what else I'm going to get at her? Because besides the honeymoon, there weren't really too many more instances that she acted like that. That's why I'm saying, like, for me, he just held on to that and felt
He
like
held
at any
on
time.
to it. He should have, and that's a good point, because he did hold on to it. However, I cannot blame him. If someone who's supposed to be my partner and signed up for this type of process looks at me and tells me that they don't care about my interests, then it's very difficult to move forward. But he's still wrong no matter which way
I was
you
gonna
cut
say,
it.
but
Because
she corrected that though. That's the thing. I understand what you're saying, but in that particular instance, she corrected that later on and said, "No, I do want to know those things." I think in the heat of the moment, she just, like I said,
that's the
she
thing.
had a
In the
human
heat of the
moment,
moment,
and then that's what I said.
when
He
you
held
don't
on to
know
that.
your spouse, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why I say what I say. If you don't know your spouse, it's not going to be like a marriage that's in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, where you could say some fucked up shit in the heat of the moment and move past it. you don't know this person and you say some crazy stuff like that, I wouldn't get past it either if someone I'm dating says something crazy like that to me so early on. But he's a weak nigga because it was very clear that he wasn't past it, but he stayed in it. And I'm just like, that's where you fucked up, Will. You should have let that girl go when you knew that it wasn't going to be for you. Other couples have done it before. It's do what you do, but I don't know. I feel like a piece of him also wants the cameras gone, kind of like Chad, who we're going to get to next with Will, because how you going to dump her and say it's a no and call her, but then still show up to the decision day?
Right.
So I'm like,
well, why would you do that anyway? I guess, like, what
it
did you
was
want her
strange.
to, like, would you just want her to prepare? Like, you want to prepare her for, I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, I feel like, no, don't do that. Like, no, don't. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't put yourself in those predicaments where, I'm just,
What I will say though, Brittany redeemed herself fully. I respect not a perfect person. I respect people who are always trying to be just better than who they are yesterday or last hour or last year. If you're trying to be better, or if you just are trying to be a good person, we respect that. So she definitely showed that people can have accountability, that people do care. She showed she gave a fuck. I would never trust him again after this. And I swear to God, if there's like a reunion or update and Brittany has dealt with him, she's back on my shit list. Because ain't no way you a homeowner before you 30, have a great job, own, like, you got a lot going for you to be this damn insecure, but it usually be like that. So I'll digress. Moving forward, y'all, we're going to get into Chad and Belinda. We are going to be on Chad and Belinda for a while. Chad and Belinda gave us nothing most episodes and then gave us a little bit of something and then acted like that something never happened, which told me and James, oh, it's gonna come. And it's here. It's definitely here. They are an absolute mess. And something James said talking to me earlier when we were not on live is Chad and Belinda just showing us that the issues we knew was there are there, but much worse than they was letting the camera on to know. So Chad and Belinda are talking, and he's essentially just not comfortable in the apartment. That's where it starts. He also seems to have issues with all of the people he's having to deal with as it relates to production and staff and seeing the other couples. It sounds like he's feeling a little smothered because it sounds like dude was just a regular guy in construction who probably is not into reality TV, which makes me wonder, how did you get here? But we'll come back to that. Basically, Belinda annoys me sometimes because I feel like she doesn't express herself correctly. So she's like, you just go to bed and I know you need to wind down, but I want you to just, lay with me. And it sounds like he's not laying with her because the dog is in the way. And I feel like Chad has been saying this about the dog for 12 episodes. He has mentioned that this dog is problematic in the bed and that he is not comfortable, but he's trying to deal with it for her. So if you know that and you want him to come and lay with you, Belinda, then get off your fucking ass and make your dog move and let your man come in the bed, or get out of your bed and go to your man and his environment. Sometimes I want to deal with my husband. He don't come in here. I go right to the couch and harass him. Why not?
But see, you know what's funny? I'm glad you brought this up because I had to go back and watch because I knew he complained about that at some point previously. And I could not think. So when he was saying all this, I was like, she's still like, wait a minute. Because I was on Belinda's side with this at first. This whole situation, I was on Belinda's side. I saw what he was doing and I saw what the manipulation, the games he was playing. But then when I really put things into pieces and I really went back and watched this the second time, I said, oh, no. Belinda doesn't listen. Belinda doesn't listen. And because she's so sweet and so poised, a lot of people get blinded by that. But no. And Chad gonna get his shit too. I'm gonna get on him in a minute. But there's certain things that she does that I'm like, oh, okay.
She's passive aggressive.
Yes.
And
it's like,
it's passive aggressiveness is sometimes hard to spot, but it's the most annoying thing to deal with. And she's also spoiled.
Yes.
She grew up with a husband with money, and she was with him from a very young age, having kids and stuff. I feel like though her marriage may not have been the greatest, she's still used to hearing yes more than no. Because this man has told you for 12 episodes of this dog, and you've ignored it. So, James, that's the best observation ever, because she doesn't listen, because she's not going to listen if she's hearing no, or if she's hearing something that goes against what she wants. And I kind of see the same thing in Jalen, but she's arguing with Josh, even though Josh be having her fucked up and is incredibly childish himself. But I see that in Jalen as well. Like, if she's not getting her way, she's like, what? But we have to, then out of nowhere, there's tears. Like,
it's not, it's more so they try to make your situation or your circumstance, whatever it is that you're arguing about, small in the moment. And I noticed her, and Jalen does it too, where they try to make, like the community thing. Even though I was on Jalen's side with it, she did try to minimize it and make it seem like it's not that big of a deal or it's not that important. Belinda did that exact same thing, where it was like minimizing whatever he was going through and saying that, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And I think the best example to say was the camera thing. And now he got mad. I don't know if I kind of spaced a little bit. I don't know, because I'm responding to a message. I don't know if you got to the point where he was talking about the camera and how they were off schedule.
No.
You didn't get there? Are you going to mention it?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. And I'll talk.
Okay. I was like, there's a lot. You just kept talking. Belinda does FaceTime Jalen. Their conversation was interesting because they say so much while saying so little to each other. This is where we first hear about Chad being upset about filming and having to deal with production. And what ended up happening is Chad was expecting to not film one day, and it was the day that they were talking. And I guess they ended up having to film. Belinda's like, I don't care. But in Chad's mind, it sounds like he's like, what? She has her appointments today. She's doing stuff. And now they suddenly want to film. Because for those who don't know, which you should know, reality TV is not just reality TV no more, especially in these formats. Like, they can't follow people around with cameras everywhere. Legally, that would be a mess. So they do have to put schedules together, deal with stuff with filming, and plan certain stuff. Tell them, go do this, go do that. It seemed like maybe Chad didn't know that, and that's what happened. So Belinda was upset because she says he texted production, brought her into the group text, and was essentially trying to speak on her behalf, like she has appointments. We can't film today. Give us a day. And instead of Belinda caring about her husband, she felt like he was argumentative and saw that as a red flag. She cared nothing about Chad. She was just like, oh, I don't care if we have to film. Okay, good for you, bitch, but he don't want to film. So just because you are okay with it, you have a husband who's not okay with it. So guess what, Belinda? When you're in a relationship and you are someone's wife and you're okay with something and they're not okay with something, if the something is still happening and you're getting your way, then the least you could do, dumb bitch, is go to your man and make sure he's okay. Soothe him. Try to bring him some sort of comfort. He's still filming even though he doesn't want to do it for you. And you're finding something wrong with this. And all she could say is, well, I don't care if they're filming, and I didn't like that he spoke for me. That's literally what husbands do when it's appropriate.
And let me interject. He was speaking because you said you had appointments. So in his mind, he's thinking that's unavailability. So I'm speaking up for my wife because she told me she has appointments. You never told this man, at least not to the degree that the camera showed, that wasn't a problem for you. He's thinking it's a problem. That's why he did it. And so for you to undermine him in this moment, that's why he got upset. And the fact that she didn't see that, and she's been married before, it makes me now question, other than the infidelity.
She was married young. I got married young at 19. I didn't have babies. So I was able to grow, and my husband was able to grow and mature into emotionally competent adults. When you have kids, the focus goes on them, away from the relationship. And if you're young and developing, away from you and your development. James, your face. It's okay.
Because why do people have these loud ass cars? Like, damn.
Oh, Jesus,
sorry, y'all.
His face. But big. See, I lost my point laughing at you.
Well, here I'm about to make this my point, because I get what you're saying, but she's been divorced for 7 years. That is plenty of time.
She's also been single the whole time, and I think that's where production kind of fucked up with this.
Yes. Okay. So yes.
I wouldn't have accepted Belinda into this experiment because to be married at first sight, what if you had someone who was like a Christian saving himself till marriage and to get put with a random person? Like, to me, it's similar with Belinda's situation. She's had one boyfriend, one husband, a bunch of kids. She doesn't know what it means to date. I think she's still finding herself. And
but here's the thing, but she's been married to know that you're supposed to have a united front, regardless if, the circumstances you don't necessarily agree with. Because now this situation turned into...
But that's trauma. She doesn't care.
But that's what I'm saying. And the thing about it is, she's been single all this time and not realizing, and the fact of the matter is she's operating as if she's still single, but married for this show. And that's where I think Chad really is in this. And I think she's like, okay, I'm still an independent woman. I'm still me. I still can speak for myself. It's like, yes, you can. But the problem is that you didn't let your husband know that wasn't going to be an issue. And there was also another issue that I don't know if we were there, but Chad also had a client he canceled on because of the show.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Belinda and Chad do go to a sushi boat restaurant, and he tells her about his day and how he saw a friend of 20 years at work. Spoke to his friend, and she was like, "Did you talk to the friend about us?" And he says a little bit. And there's like this awkward silence because you could tell. I think Belinda wants to be on TV more than him too, but I'll come back to that. But he was looking at the camera and got annoyed because, for those who don't know how reality TV works, all those housewife fights you see, there's somebody holding up a card telling them this said this or this was on here, or respond. Like, they're telling them you have to respond. They're just not giving them a script, essentially. So it looks like they do that with this show as well, and it's been frustrating Chad. And he says he's fucking done with the show. Belinda responds saying nothing has gone wrong and she does not understand. He says he's tired of being talked to like a child by production and that he's a 54-year-old combat veteran. He says that he's used to being in charge, and I said, well, we could all tell that you have control issues. I think we all spotted that with Chad a while ago. Especially him seeking out baby birds that need fixing, as he calls it. That's something someone in control needs, because people who need fixing need someone controlling them usually.
It's also a way to say that you're better than them.
Also, that could make him feel better. But, the mess. So he admits to being accustomed to being in charge of people and things. And he tells Belinda again he's not doing the BS anymore. Says that he will follow the schedule that production has given them, or that he has given production, whatever agreed upon schedule. And he said if they fall out of line, he's done. He's not going to show up. And honestly, Chad, that's what you should have been doing instead of making a fight with your wife. That's what I would have done. Because as we'll see later when they talk to Dr. P, like, production will do the best that they can, but they're worried about their show and their money. They're not worried about your schedule. You are. So if you're worried about your schedule, then you make your schedule important. Because this far into the experiment, they're not going to want to start over anyway if you use your brain instead of getting so damn angry so fast. So you actually have the ball in your court. Go to work, ignore production, acknowledge them when the fuck you are done with work. So for him to be throwing this fit about it, like, a piece of me, I get it. It's uncomfortable. But then the other piece of me is like, I'm a very solution-based person. I will vent to people, but then go and find a solution. Like, I'm not a person that's just going to talk your ear off and cry and not find a solution. Okay. I'm not Letitia Pearson. We don't do that over here. So I don't like when there's a solution that can be found or was right in front of his face, and he chooses to go the route of acting like a fucking child, which irked me. But conversation gets a little bad between them. She responds to him after he said what he's gonna do with the schedule. She was like, okay, well, don't speak on my behalf. And she says like passive aggressive shit like that in the nicest little sweetest voice. And it's like, he wasn't speaking from a place to try and harm you. He was speaking from a place to kind of try and protect you and have your schedule acknowledged and give you a day away from this. But he does say he loves her and he's glad that he met her. And he said verbatim, and I think that's good to do sometimes with your spouse. He said, I don't give a fuck about this show, but I love you. And this, for some reason, upsets Belinda. But, right, Shandy, somebody always double the show and come back later every time. But these two kind of irritated me with that, James, because, again, if you done, be done, bro. But don't keep.
To me, honestly, I feel like there was a bigger issue that, and I don't know if it's because he lost the client. I don't know what it is. Like, I can't really, because that would upset me. Like, let's say I lost the client and they was paying me big money to find them a property, and they, decided to avoid my non-compete agreement and go somewhere else. I don't know, but to me, I don't know what Chad thought he was signing up for. I don't know if you thought you were signing up for a wife. They give you it, and then you go off about your happy way. I don't know if you thought that's what the show was.
Honestly, James, I'm not trying to be shady, and I'm sorry to Chad or his fans if y'all watching. For y'all know, I cover certain spinoffs of 90 Day Fiance. Chad gives me the guys that be on 90 Day Fiance that be from America getting the mail brides, the mail order brides. I'm just saying, he does just a little bit. He does, because I could see him like, I just want me a wife, woman, cook, pussy, food. I feel like that's how his brain works, and he probably do just want to get his broad and be left alone. He also seems like someone that will use romantic gestures as manipulation, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not saying I definitely agree with that.
You're not gonna talk about, oh, this and that, you love me, talking about that aggressively, and you got this old temper, and you out here giving flowers and stuff. But Belinda and Chad, they don't talk after the argument. He slept at his house, which I think was smart, especially since he's been so uncomfortable. And they do have a session with Dr. Pia by phone. And Chad was actually reasonable during that time. It seemed like I love that about men. They can really sometimes just go away for a couple hours, come back calm. And he does that. But she seems upset that Chad feels there's a wedge that production is playing. And that was probably the biggest thing that I do believe that production is doing. I do believe him there. Chad feels like production is putting a wedge between Josh and Jalen. Chad, I keep wanting to say Todd. Chad told this to Belinda when they were talking. He says that he spoke with Josh and that things with Jalen and Josh have not been great, which Belinda knows because we saw Belinda on camera with Jalen talking about the problems she was having. But I don't think Jalen was painting it out as bad as it is. So Belinda's probably thinking it's a problem that her kid's going to overcome. But Chad is telling her, like Josh said this, which I believe he did because he damn near burst into tears over Burning Man and is wishy-washy and has red flags and exes he don't want to let go of. And I feel like Josh likely spoke to Chad about it. I don't think Chad is lying about this. I don't. I genuinely don't feel like the person calling out production and them literally producing the show. No, people don't do that often. So I just don't feel like he's lying about that. Belinda, on the other hand, feels like he is lying. And in my opinion, I don't think she feels like he's lying. I think she's the woman and the mom that's going to put her kids before the man every time. Your kids are grown now. You don't know how your daughter is in a relationship. How you are with your parents is a lot of times there are parts of you with your parents that will shine in a relationship, and then there's the you in a relationship which is different. It should be, at least if you're healthy. So I don't feel like Belinda should just automatically side with Jalen because Jalen is saying Josh said that he just agreed to what was being said because he didn't want to feel uncomfortable. a piece of me can see Josh doing that, but the fact that Jalen said that versus Josh just talking to Belinda was what made it weird. So I feel like Jalen is trying to protect him or something. I don't trust it. It's messy.
It is messy. I also agree with you. I think that conversation did happen. Where I think Chad messed up is that I don't think he recalls when the conversation happened. I believe the conversation happened for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's the
Yeah.
easy thing to conversate about. But I don't think it was a conversation by text the way he first explained it to Belinda. I think this was something that may have happened probably when they were at the retreat, the retreat and playing with each other.
Yeah.
The men were playing with each other, playing cornhole.
Josh and Jalen also had horrible issues at the retreat. And
Yes.
these couples at the timeline that they're giving did just leave the retreat. So even so, it's very likely that happened. That's why I'm looking at Belinda kind of like she's full of shit and like she's just trying to protect her daughter over it. And this is exactly why you don't involve family in your relationships, because it's stupid shit like this. Because if you put your spouses, or let's say my husband talks to James's spouse about something, and then that something that those two talked about comes back up in an argument with me and my spouse, and then I side with James after I talked to James about was alleged to be said, and he says, nope, my spouse only did this because that, or denies it. Like, that's why you gotta let your family bond with your spouse, but don't have them too much in your business or be talking to each other about your experience. And I know that's hard because they're both married at first sight, but there's another 45 plus couple, Belinda, that y'all could be talking to that probably need to talk to somebody, because Rhonda need all the help she can get. And
go ahead.
Jalen's gonna just feel protective of her mom, but she's also, Jalen seems like the type that I have a problem with her man, but hide it from everybody else, including her mom. So I don't know.
Not only that, because that's a good point to bring up, because I also feel that way about Jalen too. But I just feel like, to me, she put too much inferences on that not being true versus the possibility of it being true. Because it's not like he said something outlandish or something that was so unbelievable that your daughter would be in that situation. Like, it's not like he said that. He said something that was very probable, that sometimes production is a little pushy. And I had a conversation, with Josh about how pushy they can be, because our schedules, we have regular jobs, we work. He's also has a business himself, so he understood. I think she just took it as like, oh, well, that's not something that they're not having a problem because of that. They're not having a problem because of that, because Belinda's not having that problem. So I think that's why it was such an inference on that being a lie, versus it's like, well, just because you're not having a problem and Jalen not having a problem doesn't mean that Josh Homeboy didn't have a problem with production.
Dr. Pia tried to get her to see that. But
yes, she did. Yeah,
I think Belinda is one of those people who, she was probably just as big as a problem in her marriage as her husband. Yep. But after Dr. P leaves, y'all, Chad and Belinda talk, and this is the day after, because after the session with Dr. P, Belinda went back to her own apartment for the night and did not stay with Chad. So they talked the next day, and he seemed activated and kind of did go tit for tat. But I think he got that way because she was showing like that her dog is more important than her. Jalen's word will be more important than his. So he's being shown all these ways that she's just not going to place him as important. They get to talking, and he's talking about the discomfort from the dog and is saying that the dog barks and all this crazy stuff. And her response is, well, yeah, that's what dogs do. Probably when you're walking up to the door. Like, everything he said about the dog, she had an excuse for, which is irritating. Like, I don't like people like this. Your dogs and your pets are, yes, part of the family, but you're always supposed to prioritize your relationship over everything. You just should. Not a damn dog. But he says he wants to work on saving it. They go back and forth. She ends up walking away this time because she's done. I'm not even going to go over all of it because these two were a mess. We get a little later into what they're going through. They do meet with Dr. Pia in person. And when Dr. Pia knocked, I noticed the dog didn't bark. So that's all I'm going to say, Chad. I think that you're complaining about the dog barking and the dog being in the bed. Anybody who owns a pet likely has their animals in the bed with them at some point. Just say you don't like dogs so that you can have clear boundaries, get some gates up. If you don't, and that's okay. Like, you don't have, some people are not pet people. Because he did all of that saying this dog bark when people come into the door and all of this. Then somebody knocks at the door and the dog looked around and was alert but did not bark. So that tells me that dog is trained. I'm not doing it with you, Chad. I'm not.
I'm not. Yeah, I thought the dog was just kind of like a stupid peg way to make your point.
It was dumb.
Yeah, it was dumb. Like, it was like, okay, that's stupid. Like, no, say, like, I feel like she's not mincing words with you, so you shouldn't mince words with her. Just say how you really feel. Feel like, because I feel like for me, I can clearly see that he sees that she negates him, no matter what it is. She's going to, because she's already made up in her mind, you're a liar, and that you overcompensate or try to take control of the marriage and not leave her with any stability of her voice of her own. She's already made up her mind that that's what you do. So no matter what you do, no matter what argument it is, and that's what you needed to call her out on. And I think you would have had a stronger argument, Chad, if you would have did that. Just say, it doesn't matter how I come to you. It doesn't matter what I tell you. You already made up in your mind who I am.
Yeah, and
that's not fair.
They do talk to Dr. Pia, and Dr. Pia first addresses Chad and his frustration with the show. Notice when something's really wrong, they send the actual expert in. These other people just have experience, but the expert is the one, to me, with a degree in couples. Lord, everybody want to be expert though. But Dr. Pia points out to Chad, she asked him, like, how have you been coping and what is the issue? What can we do to make it better? And he's like, the schedule. I don't have time to do anything that de-stresses me. So he's just been holding the stress of being on the show, doing the work, being busy, and it's not healthy. And for older people, they struggle with that. And honestly, without diagnosing him on the internet, he did show like signs of PTSD or something. He said he was a combat veteran. I'm sure he's seen things, gone through things that he probably feels safe or finds some type of comfort in schedules and having control and things like that. He's still human. But Dr. Pia then comes to Belinda, and Belinda explains that her ex was always arguing, because Belinda, if I'm keeping it real with y'all, this bitch is crying over nothing. Like, you're acting like you want to leave this man and like your relationship is so tore up. He has been nothing but nice to Belinda, Chad. I will say that. He has been nothing but nice to her in actions, affirmations, physical affection. He's done all the things she wants. I think the problem with Belinda is, yes, Chad has red flags as anyone does. But like James said, I think that she will just see any man that she dates once they show any form of aggression or anger, even if it's not toward her, because this was toward production. He ain't had no problem with her and has reassured her the whole time. And she's just like, I'm disgusted, I'm turned off, and all of this. And I'm like, because the man just wants to be with you? Like,
no, because the man had a human moment.
Yeah, but he's doing all of this essentially because he just wants to be with you naturally, and he cares so much he doesn't want them or their show to interrupt your
day-to-day
relationship.
Yeah, it's your day. Yeah, it wasn't even so much
like Tamar Braxton on the Braxtons. She's given the right message, but the delivery is fucked. And I feel like with Chad, he's saying the right things and is committed in the right ways, but the way that he's expressing the frustration is childish. Even with production, it's not professional. But it shouldn't be so big when he hasn't done nothing to Belinda that she's so like emotional. And Dr. P does explain to both of them, you're both responding to each other out of an emotional traumatic response, which is true. And she encourages them to give each other grace, which is also an important part of a relationship. So Dr. P, you put these people together. I feel like this is not the time to counsel them like you're counseling a regular couple in a marriage and family therapy session. Dr. P, you put them together. You should have explained to Belinda and Chad, like, what do y'all want to do? Because it seemed like she's not going to get past it, which it was very clear. I feel like she should have called out Belinda more as well.
Yep, I do too.
Because Belinda
misses the point a lot of the time. I think that as I'm watching her, she's missing the point in the elevation of things. Like, because we just gave 2 examples here. Him going to production and getting into it with them because of her having appointments. That was for you. And if you didn't have a problem with it, you should have told him, hey, it's not a big deal. We can film tomorrow. Not a big deal.
But if you
I
don't
think
care, why are you like, it's almost like you say you don't care, but it gives that you want to film as much as you can.
right, exactly. That's why I was like, okay, so what is it? Because to me, it feels like if I didn't know any better, and I know better, I would feel like you baited him into something to see how he reacts, so that way you
Mhm.
could have a reason to then say, "Oh, yep, this is the problem. This is it." And I think the reason why she's doing that is because of his coping when he gets home after he works. He has, a drink and then he goes to sleep. And she says she wants affection. She wants someone to come home and just, be with her. And he's tired. And so I feel like she did that in order to bait him in a situation and then point out the reasons of like, oh, he does this versus looking at that being potentially a bigger issue than it being about you. Because that probably has nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just
Yeah, Belinda
yeah.
looks for a problem and then likes to play innocent, and I'm
Hmm.
quite frankly sick of her. But thank God we get to move on from these couples.
Right. Because they were a lot.
They were a lot. Now, Rhonda and Pat are
Oh
also a
Lord.
lot, but I'm not going to get into them too much because it's pretty much the same stuff, and it's literally the same thing. Um, they speak about this stupid date that Pat tried to plan for her, and she tried to manipulate him because she's like, "Oh, you didn't invite my family and this and that. You just gave us the dates, and my mom could have been there." And so Pat's like, I could have coordinated better, and she's like, "Yeah, you see that? Coordinate an invite." And I'm just like, why are you trying to attack this man and make coordinating an invite a bad thing? Like, he coordinated by buying the tickets and then
No,
invited
I
you.
have
So
a
he
question
did
for
both
Rhonda.
things. You're just not grateful about it because he didn't do them in the way that you wanted him to do it. And if my man wants to take me out, he don't got to pay for my family. Not my grandkids, not my cousin, not my mama, not my daddy, not the dog. The only person he needs to worry about covering if he wants to take me out is me. Rhonda, why the fuck are you talking about your mama and your grandparents and all of this? Just say thank you for planning the date. And if you
And
can't make it, then I appreciate the gesture, babe. I can't make it this time. But anything but what you did. Like I'm tired of Rhonda.
no. I have one better for you, Rhonda. Did you invite his mama to your family reunion?
Mm,
I'm
that's
just
true because
asking.
she's in Austin.
Yeah, because she is there, and you had this whole family thing, and you told Pat he needed to be there. Did you invite his mama? Did you think to invite her? So why
His
the fuck?
kids.
Yeah, his kids. Did you think about any of that? Was that mentioned? Because it sure didn't make it on camera, but you made sure to do that. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was bullshit to me. I'm sorry. That shit pissed me off because I'm like, wait a minute, hold the hell up. No, you didn't. Because where is his mom? Why she couldn't come to your family reunion? But you want your family, your coordinated schedule to make sure he takes accountability and looks into that too.
Rhonda is selfish, and it's to be
Yes.
expected because she's been alone for so long. But I think the reason she's alone for so long is because when she does have people, I don't think she has the ability to see outside of herself.
No, because she's
But
nitpicky. That's the problem. Rhonda is nitpicky. She picks at every little thing that
she's
this man
gonna
does.
she's gonna keep doing it. Uh Rhonda does the same thing. She claims that she doesn't matter and she feels like it's not about her. And I'm like, Rhonda, all you talk about is you. This man can't even get a damn sentence out. But okay, Rhonda. Now, Pat, I respect the effort. Good job,
No,
buddy,
I
for the effort.
respect Pat for not losing his
Because
fucking shit.
so Pat explained to Rhonda that he feels like she ignores his good efforts that he makes and zeroes in on the negatives, which we all know is true.
Yep.
Rhonda's response to that is the dumbest thing ever. Actions speak louder than words. They do. But if you're paying attention to the wrong action, bitch, then nothing's going to speak to you. It's going to be silence and you're going to continue this neurotic behavior. Now, Rhonda and Pat meet with his friend. His friend was odd. You could tell that everyone in Pat's life is very like level-headed and analytical, which is okay because I think he's a scientist of some sort. But his friend turned into a therapist. I didn't like his friend. No, I thought his friend was a little wishy-washy because you're not gonna be saying to me while we talking before the lady get here, like, oh wow, you're dealing with that. That's a lot, and all you could do is your best. But then when the lady gets there, you're agreeing with everything she's saying about your friend that's negative. So Rhonda and Pat ended up upset. Then he came back and tried to help them talk. And, Pat again explains that he has his own traumas that he has to work through, reminding her, like, bitch, you're not the only one with stuff. And he's trying not to lose himself as he did before. Sounds like he doesn't want to just be a pushover, which I worried about with him, which I'm glad. But Rhonda only seemed satisfied once Pat got like super emotional. And that was a red flag to me. Because when you calm down because someone else is breaking down, that's some sick shit. So I don't have much to say about Rhonda. My note literally says, just tell them the lady is toxic. You can be toxic well into your senior years, and she is the proof.
I think that, yeah, and the fact that she's so nitpicky about every little thing, it's like this man can't even breathe because you're going to tell him his left nostril is bigger than his right one. It's like, lady, what do you want this man to do? Like, literally, you have complained from day one. Now, at first, I saw it. I said, okay, I get what she's saying because he did do that. But then he tried to correct himself. Then something else happened. Then he's like, okay, well, then fuck, I got to correct this. It's like, okay, everything can't be fucking wrong. Like, seriously, like, I would have lost my fucking mind. Like, everything can't be wrong. Like, come on, brother. Like, give the man credit.
I noticed none of her kids live with her. And they are young adults, not older adults. Adults that would still live with mom if possible. That tells me all I need to know. Rhonda has this huge family and don't nobody be in her house. There's a reason. She probably be nitpicking on every little thing.
Now, that shit would drive me fucking crazy. Like, when I tell you, I would have cussed her out by now. Yeah, I would have cussed her out by now. We would have been divorced. We wouldn't even have to get to this
people in by telling them the sadness. Like throughout the whole episode, I was annoyed through both episodes because she's like, my stepdad's died and this and that. And I'm like, I feel for you, Rhonda, but what the fuck is Pat supposed to do? What are we supposed to do knowing this?
Like she wants Pat to be so empathetic with her as if he's been in her life all her life and has known her father. Like
she has unrealistic expectations. Yes. And Pat keeps saying it, and I feel like he knows it. But honestly, before we move forward, all I'm gonna say is I just want to see him do it. I don't think he will. I know this couple will not work in the long run, but I'm sick of them. And we're gonna move forward to the last people. And I'm glad I did it this way because we end on a little bit of a lighter note. Megan and Derek, who a couple episodes ago had me ready to snatch her through the TV. But I had said too on the live, maybe the bitch is pregnant because she was tripping. And she's pregnant. So I'm giving her a pass for all of her past transgressions because she was clearly hormonal because she had to have been pregnant since that honeymoon, if y'all can count weeks. Had to have. So, we'll get into them. Megan and Derek don't really have much. They tell their parents they're pregnant. Her parents are still friendly and likable, but you could tell the dad was not happy because he's like, I still don't know this guy. And the mom's been talking a big game, but probably didn't think her daughter would end up pregnant so soon. But they still accepted it. You could tell her parents was a little bit bothered, James. Just a smidge.
No, just the dad, because that mama loved his family. Remember, she keep talking. I'm so shocked she didn't mention it at this dinner. Like, I'm your family. Oh, I can't wait to see them again. And so it was like, damn.
Yeah. Like, the dad, though, when she said it, he looked like nervous. Like my dad, I feel like if I was to call my dad and be like, me and Josiah having a baby, he would be happy, but I also feel like he would feel a little nervous just because that's still my dad. Like he likes my husband, but I just feel like he'll always like side eye him because he always reminds me he's watching him and tells my cousins to watch him and all this crazy stuff. Yeah. I'm a big daddy's girl, y'all. Hugely. I'm also his firstborn child. So my dad is like, yeah, he's crazy. Anywho, but yeah, the parents, they told them they're pregnant. Not much happened with these people. She's nervous about the baby. Derek was fixing a bunch of shit. Looks like they have decided what they have to do, but they're forced to make big. When you have a kid coming, you got to figure it out. So they're kind of like, we're vibing, we're doing well. Decision day's near. Derek's gonna move into her house, which I would too. That's the Texas
Um,
I need. But
I
they
wouldn't.
do talk. Let me explain the scene. They do talk, and he mentions that them having a baby is more reason for them to stay together, which was a red flag because a baby should never be the reason you stay with someone. That's the worst thing you can do for a child.
Agreed.
She had a reasonable view though. She's like, we don't need that pressure on us. If we don't work, we can raise our kid together single, which was realistic. But that's it with them in their last scene. Go ahead. That's literally it.
I wouldn't have moved into her house. We would have had to buy a house together because to me,
Mm.
she's too controlling for me. I'm sorry. She just is. She likes things a certain way. And remember, that is her space. I don't think that he will much matter into this space with her because it's naturally hers. And I know they can buy a house together. She just bought an Escalade out of nowhere. So I
Yeah.
know like they can do it.
Because
That's why
girl,
I'm like,
your 5-door sedan could have done a baby.
right. She had to buy that big ass Escalade.
The biggest thing she could have
Yeah, and I
found.
was like, you didn't have a one damn baby. Why you need that big ass Escalade like that?
It was
You
nice
could have
though.
got it was, but you could have bought the little small one. You didn't have to do all that. That's what let me know she got money like
And if
that.
you look
And
at her family, they all
yeah,
have
yeah,
money. And I think her house is custom built based on the neighborhood and where she was.
yeah, because every house looked different. That's why I was like, yeah, her house is definitely custom
I
built.
mean, I hope he kept his apartment because let her pay her own mortgage, keep your apartment, pay your bills just in
Right,
case.
yeah, just in
I
case,
would
because she looked
keep
like
my
she'll
place
flip.
for at least 5 years. Like just with this type of process,
Mm-hmm.
if I was getting with someone as well off as her, it's like, okay, I'll move into your shit, but you gotta understand I'm gonna still need to pay my own rent. Because you ain't gonna have no utilities, it's just the rent. You just paying for the space. So or you could sublet it, but I wouldn't let go of my place.
I
Because
wouldn't either, or we would have to buy a house together. Just because
because
I
like you said,
can't.
she's controlling.
She's too controlling. Like she goes, okay, we have to make sure this goes here. And what you gonna do about your clothes? Because I have my closet already. Like I just need to make sure there's space. Did you clean out that room? It was just like, nope,
And
nope,
Megan,
nope, nope.
why do you have that big ass house? You single. Girl, you ain't even have
Okay.
you got one dog and no nigga, and you got what looked to be like a
Like
four,
five
six
bed. It was
bedroom.
5 bedrooms or something. It's like, God damn, what you need all that
It was
space
a
for?
beautiful home though. The only thing I wish people would do whenever I see beautiful homes such as hers, I know everyone likes the modern aesthetic, but I'm a person that believes in a pop of color because it brings life to the house and warmth. Like she could have put a splash of something.
And all them empty ass rooms and shit.
Empty rooms. I said,
I was
girl,
like, girl, what the hell?
you could have built you a little
And
regular
then she
colonial
said,
style.
we have to clean out the garage so both our cars can fit. So she brought all that shit, made him move it to the smaller garage that was way in the corner. And it was like, I said, girl, you doing too
But
much.
why do you have so much if it's just you?
Why do you need a 3-car garage when you only have one damn car?
Talk about you don't want 3 kids. Bitch, you got I would be having however many a fit in the house.
Right? And you bought up what you bought that big ass Escalade for then.
That
That's
seats
what
that your 9-seater. Which you'll talk about for the baby. You got one kid and you bought a
one
9-seater
kid.
with a third row. Stop it.
Something wrong with Megan. I like her. Don't get me wrong. I do like. I've learned to
She's
like Megan,
quirky. I'm
but
growing to like her too. She's
she's
quirky.
doing some crazy shit that I just would not do. Like I
Give
just
them a
would.
baby special,
Yeah, because I
Peacock,
would love to see.
because
I
I
would
think that
love
they're
to see.
funny. I do think that this couple is funny. And she's like, at times you dislike her, but she doesn't do stuff that'll make you just like hate her forever. So I don't mind Megan. Y'all, that's really it that happened in this episode. All the couples sleep separately for the decision day, but the only couple that has a decision is Brittany and Will Child.
Did we talk
The
about Josh
next,
and Jalen?
yeah.
Okay, we did. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't. So I was like, I feel like we missed somebody.
Oh wait, did I?
I don't remember.
Oh
I know
no,
we
I
mentioned
skipped.
them.
Oh no, we didn't. We'll go over Josh and Jayla real quick. I think I skipped them.
Oh, I would
They
have too, but I just want to make sure, like, I wasn't
I'm
crazy.
not going to go over it too much in depth. They get their friend groups together. Their friends ask them questions that they should have asked, like simple shit too. I like how their friends didn't ask something difficult. They were like, do you guys have any of the same hobbies? Like, because these people are getting to know each other. And they don't really share any of the same hobbies or anything like that. It's not always a bad thing, but you got to find something you at least like to do together. Um, they later go out to dinner. Now Josh says that he's not interested in Burning Man because he doesn't want to go and can't see himself going without his wife. And she's like, good. But she says in a confessional, she wonders if he's just telling her what she wants to hear. I'm like, duh, bitch, this nigga's a liar. All Josh has done is lie, deflect, and it's very clear that he says what he can to whatever he thinks you want to hear. Because in the beginning, he said he didn't matter to her if she went to Burning Man or not. Then he literally caused a whole argument that could have ended their relationship over Burning Man. Then the ex popped up. And then he was still trying to reason with her about how Burning Man matters and that's his sense of community. Now he's willing to just drop his sense of community, which is Burning Man, and not go because he realizes that she's not going to budge. As soon as the cameras go down, I want everyone to understand that he is going to cry every day in the bitchiest way that a man can to get her to come to Burning Man. And I feel like we're going to hear from them in an update that she will probably give in and go to Burning Man. And it's probably going to be fake as hell talking about how much she loved it. If this couple makes it, I think it'll be because they're both so shallow and care what other people have to say. And they care about the title of having a husband or wife, but not about the work that actually goes into it. Because
see, I actually thought the opposite.
I said if they work.
No, I actually thought the opposite. I thought that this was the way for him never to go to Burning Man because she's saying, I'm not doing it. And it's pretty much giving her what she wanted in the beginning, which is never to go and to make sure he never went because of probably what she heard about that event being. Her and Belinda are more alike than they probably want to admit. Because it's crazy how y'all manipulate a situation to work in your favor. I'm just saying, because that's exactly what I saw was you manipulated that situation for it to work in your favor because you knew he was going to give in to you.
I mean, but honestly, I don't even think I view it as manipulation. I respect it. It's something she didn't want to do. She said she didn't want to do it. Now, what I wish Jalen didn't do is in the beginning, you made it seem like you were willing to do this, and it took the doctors to get you to even tell him that is something you didn't want to do. So that makes me worry for when she's off camera. But I don't think she manipulated him in any way at all. That man sat there and gaslighted that girl, was in tears, thought he tried every method he could. His tears must have dried up so fast when she made it clear she just was not going to go. But I do think that Jalen's really like the facade of the always perky. I don't trust it. I just don't. But that's really it that happened, you guys. The final episodes, I think it's a final 1 or 2 episodes. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But the final episodes of Married at First Sight will be airing next week, I believe on the 20th, which is Thursday. Now, I normally recap the show on Fridays. However, my husband's birthday is November the 23rd. Shout out to Mr. Oso Best. And he's actually good to me. So we are going to be going on a trip for the entire week of Thanksgiving. I will be out of the country. I will be able to stream, but I will not be able to do Married at First Sight on Friday. So I may watch the episode on Thursday. And if James has the time, then I will get the episode review out on Thursday.
I definitely have the time.
Huh?
I definitely have the time.
Yeah. And then I don't think I have any other lives on the weekend. I will be a part of James's lives for the Braxtons and what is it? Bell Collective and Love and Marriage Huntsville. But I'm going to coordinate with him because I will be 4.5 hours ahead of him in time. So that should be interesting. Yeah, but we're going to make it shake. I'm very grateful to James for supporting me through this and all of that. I hope that you guys do remember to subscribe to James's channel. The link's always in the description of this video. will be live tomorrow on his channel. Yeah.
Yes, we'll be live and talking about the. I don't want to say it on our voice notes that we be sending each other. Some of them Braxtons. But we have the Braxtons and we have Bell Collective, which I actually need to watch both of those shows right now. Thank you for having me.
Indeed, y'all. We'll see you next time. Good night.